Communities around the world are feeling the effects of illegal logging. Crime and corruption are fueling an epidemic of deforestation, and unwitting consumers are funding it. Stolen wood is manufactured into thousands of everyday products, including musical instruments like guitars. Adam Gardner is a member of the band Guster and co-founder of the environmental non-profit Reverb.
A lot of us in the music world are concerned about the impacts that we have been doing while we're touring on the environment, whether that's plastic waste or the fuel we're burning in our buses and trucks. But then when we learned that the very instruments that we're playing our music with could be clear-cutting and tearing out old-growth forests, it was very alarming for all of us.
Think about the furniture, where it comes from, a guitar for a musician, where it comes from. In some cases, that wood has been harvested illegally. It's really something that we want to shine a light on and bring to the attention of the world so that we can help stop illegal logging in its tracks.
To learn about how communities are combating illegal logging, Adam and Lauren travelled with the Environmental Investigation Agency to Guatemala. They were joined by musicians James Valentine and Jesse Carmichael of Maroon 5.
It hadn't even really occurred to us to think about where the wood came from for the guitars we play.
We're up there every night on stage playing guitars that are made out of wood. Until it was brought to our attention, we didn't really understand some of the problems with illegal logging and some of those negative consequences.
The musicians travelled to the Maya Biosphere Reserve in the northern Guatemalan state of Petén. This area contains a unique mix of national parks, biotopes, archaeological sites, and sustainable forest concessions. A forest concession is a large region of forest managed by companies or communities that harvest timber or other forest products. The forest concessions of the Maya Biosphere Reserve are unique because they are primarily managed by communities and have become a world-renowned example of sustainable forest management.
We do planning for the next 90 years. At the same time that we are using the forest, we are taking care of the forest, we protect the forest. And we are planning for the future for 90 years, for example, because I have kids and my kids will have kids, and then I want it whatever they can have in the future.
For me as a guitar player, to be in the rainforest and see the woods that make up the guitars that I play in their natural environment, that was the most inspiring part of the trip.
That will be the father of all future guitars.
Yes. Thanks.
Sociedad Civil Esfuerzo siempre ha tenido un problema con la tala ilegal de bosque.
Genera pérdidas importantes de patrimonio natural, genera degradación, pérdida de diversidad biológica, genera pérdidas también económicas porque la tala ilegal no paga impuestos, no entra a través de los mercados legales.
One of the biggest problems with illegal logging is that if a community that's doing things in a sustainable way harvests the wood and an illegal company harvests the same amount of wood, they're going to be able to sell that wood for a much lower price. So companies out there kind of have this moral question. It's a question I think we all just have to ask ourselves when we're about to buy something.
Our future and the future of our planet hinges on our willingness to manage our resources in a sustainable way. Community forestry in the Maya Biosphere Reserve is an example of how to both preserve and benefit from our precious natural resources. Unfortunately, this is the exception to the rule. Around the world, communities are struggling with the devastating impacts of illegal logging.
With all of the illegal logging that's going on, I think it was really important that we came here to see a positive example of sustainable forestry working. I mean, it turns out that local communities taking care of their own backyards is a really effective way to preserve these forests. It's in the community's interest to preserve these forests for future generations.